Hello, and welcome to the Analog Toys live stream. Please bear with me. I had a few beers last night, so I cannot get through this on my own. I want to talk tonight about all of the new G.I. Joe Classified reveals from San Diego Comic-Con. And I thought there'd be no better guest to have on than someone who knows far more about, certainly about a real American hero than I do. I'm a quite learned man, but he's got me trumped in that department. And I also thought it would be cool to have the two of us on because neither of us collect classified. So without further ado, never go full classified. Here is my friend. It's Chad. Toy shield tears.
Hello, what's going on?
Oh, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm really good. I'm really good. Before we get into there's a lot to get through. We were just chatting before we went live. There's like I've got like 34 slides of all the different reveals. I'm going to go through them kind of in the order that they announced them in the live panel that I watched. But we'll leave the HasLab till last because there's so much to talk about. But before we get into that, man, first of all, I've got a new chair for the studio. I've got this nice bright yellow chair. I've got a friend leaving town, and they're trying to clear out their house, and I was like, "That's a nice chair," but it sits a bit higher than the one I used to use, so I haven't got my camera angle set properly. So if my mum watches this, she'll complain I keep cutting off the top of my head.
Nice.
Hey, what do you got going on, man? Anything coming up?
Yeah, I'm gonna be working on a video for Monday, Sunday for channel members. I'm gonna record it tonight after you and I are done. So I got to get good and like toxic, and then I'll just hit record and it'll be fun. Mikey from JMK Customs is gonna help me out with it, and it's some more stuff about Mr. Lorenzo Di Bonaventura, so it'll be fun.
Oh, nice. I want to throw it out there right at the start of the show. If you're not already subscribed to Chad's channel, you'll find a link in the video description below. Make sure you do, because I kind of know a little bit about what he's working on for his video. You don't want to miss it. Let's say hello to the chat first of all. So Brian Stevenson became a YouTube channel member. Thank you very much, Brian. Much appreciated.
Awesome guy.
Robert Diaz also became a YouTube member. Thank you very much.
Very cool.
M. Vargo, member for 10 months. What rank does that make him now? A staff sergeant, I think. You can get up to sergeant major in the Analog Toys Army rank system.
Yep.
Yeah. KBA says, I still stand by my theory that Destro does this on purpose just so Cobra has to order replacement parts from his company. Yep. Yeah. The Death Skull has also been a member for 10 months. Thank you very much. As has Just Jeff. Thank you. And Kevzilla67, member for 10 months. Thank you very much. I must have started YouTube channel memberships 10 months ago because M. Vargo, I think, was one of the first channel members on the channel. So, yeah. I think after a year they get sergeant major status.
Sweet.
Yeah, British rank system. Warrant officer. That rank system. So, did you watch the panel?
I watched Ryan's video of him recording the panel because he mentioned me in it, so some people tagged me on it. So I saw it.
You like that shaky cam?
Yeah.
Ryan's like holding his camera like he's having an epileptic fit. Yeah. I didn't. That's like in my watch list for later. But it was weird. They did the panel at Comic-Con, but then there was like another recorded panel. What's going on?
The ma'am just walked by.
Yeah, I had to ask because I don't know if it's the ma'am or the dog.
All of the above. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Am I blushing? I'm blushing. Babe, I'm blushing. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Hello.
Say hi to Tony. Okay, sorry, you're distracting us. We're complaining about toys. Sorry.
Oh, what are we complaining? I loved everything.
Me too.
No, there was some stuff I really liked.
Agreed.
Whoa. Jason Anderson gifted 10 Analog Toys memberships. Jason, thank you very much, my friend. I won't be doing an after show today. As I mentioned, we've got a good friend leaving town. That's the one who she gave me the chair.
Right.
So I've got to catch her in about 3 hours' time to kind of say my final goodbye. But I'm off work for all of next week. So there will be a Patreon and channel members only stream sometime. Maybe early next week, something like that. So, cool. Jason, thank you very much, my friend. And Robert Foley's been a member for 10 months, and KBA's been a member for 10 months. Thank you very much, guys. Should we get into it or what?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, first up, the Cobra Claw.
Yep.
You have this toy in childhood?
Absolutely.
Did you like it?
I do. You know, for a lower price point vehicle, it had the little wings that extended. You could put a figure in it. You could put a bomb in it. Yeah, I like the claw. Plus, it attaches to the side of the terror drum. It's fun.
I didn't know that. See,
I'll send you a picture when
you
we're
are
done.
with your Joe knowledge, huh?
Yeah, I'll send you a picture when we're done.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it attached to the side of the terror drone. I used to love this kind of stuff in childhood because this was the type of, my parents, they would get me action figures from time to time, and I'd have to wait for birthdays to get the vehicles and the play sets. The play set was normally the big Christmas gift, some vehicles at birthdays. This was that in-between one where if you were really lucky one week, you wouldn't get a figure, you would get a little mini toy like this.
Exactly.
I can't remember if I had this in childhood or not. I was certainly familiar with it. If I didn't have it, a kid down the street had it.
And that's
comes with a female pilot.
Say again?
This one comes with a female pilot. They seem to be doing that a lot,
Yeah.
Was it a female driver came with a ferret? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's smart in the fact that they're rejuvenating the whole idea, like you just talked about, where when we were kids, you could get a figure or you could get something like the Claw or the Cobra Flight Pod or, the Silver Mirage. If you breathe on it, it breaks. But, you could get those lower price point little world building elements, Checkpoint Alpha, things like that, without having to get, the Whale or the 83 headquarters and things like that. So it's very cool to remember and bring back those smaller world building things. And this kind of thing is perfect for classified. It's not a crowd fund. It's not several $100. Yeah. This is that sweet spot that they need to really focus on stuff like this.
I've got a really cool one of these from Mark II Designs, the 3D printed.
Yeah,
which
from last year.
The one it was amazing. Like he painted it all up for me. He didn't just, send me the resin model because I was never going to paint it. It's a cool piece. It's I'm curious to see what the price point's going to be on this. 50.
I would say 50, 75. I gotta say, elephant in the room, those freaking blast effects are still backwards. Just like with the Stinger, they're still backwards. Well, you know, I understand that you probably have like, a 55-gallon trash can full of these blast effects somewhere, but at some point you could fix it.
Yeah.
And this is a digital render too. At least fix it in the stupid render. That bugs me.
Yeah, they don't get it, I think. It's
They really need some kind of military advisor, especially if they're going to keep pushing forward with classified. Sorry, they got to get this, messed up military stuff fixed. They really do.
something I noticed when I watched their the live stream thing that Hasbro put up on their channel. I was watching briefly this morning the Marvel Legends one with Dwight, and he was talking about they're doing a Punisher in a new Punisher figure, which actually looks quite cool, in a 2-pack with Bushwhacker, I think it is. The Marvel Legends team were referring to the Punisher's weapons as blasters, but the G.I. Joe team were referring to these as Uzis, shotguns. Like, we've done this bait and switch thing here.
Yeah, they're weird. So they'll say something like shotgun or spear gun, but they won't say with their gun. If it's just gun, they won't say rifle and they won't say gun. They'll say blaster. But if it's shotgun, spear gun, the name of an Uzi, they'll say that. They're very weird about that.
Yeah,
blasters. Dumb.
No, look, I think this looks pretty cool. It'll all be dependent on, what the price point's going to be. This is obviously only a digital render, so this is probably coming in 2025.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
The claw. All right. Hello, ma'am.
How are you? Or I don't know what time it is for you. Every day
it's
is morning.
It's morning for him.
Okay. Well, good
It's 8:15 a.m. Saturday morning, and I have a hangover. How are you?
I'm tired. I got off work late.
Okay.
I bring you dogs.
Thank you very much.
We're going over all the classified stuff that was shown in San Diego yesterday. Yeah, so Leatherneck. It's supposed to be based on
saying hello to the man. Hello.
Yeah, everybody in the chat's all, hi, ma'am. Yeah, it's supposed to be based on Ron Rudat. I mean,
I don't think this looks like Ron Rudat.
No. But then again, they've been notorious on several occasions where the render and the physical representation don't look the same.
Yeah.
Right. Like when that Stalker came out, and I'm like, what is he, like a retired E9? Like, he looks 60. He looks older than me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna reserve judgment to see how much this actually looks like Ron Rudat when they plop it out. But he does have the commando with that 203, so I kind of dig that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
What was the original figure? M16A1 with the 203? Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I really liked this figure in childhood, even though his marine cap was way too big on the finished figure. You would have seen the prototypes of that figure, where the cap looked a hell of a lot better. I think it's in the prototypes in a lot of the commercials and stuff.
Yep.
I don't think this looks too bad. His eyes are really close together.
Yeah, I don't know if he's supposed to be squinting or unimpressed or sleepy, but we'll see when the figure comes out what he looks like.
Yeah.
He's got a little puss pad bedroll on his on his little salt pack there or whatever. That's cool.
So I think that's Recondo's backpack. So that's just reuse. That's the backpack that came with Recondo with a little bedroll at the top. Like he should have had an Alice pack. I think they haven't done an Alice pack yet.
Yeah.
Logan Holmberg says, I like the weapon choice for a change with Leatherneck. Now it will not be too bendy and he can hold it properly.
Maybe.
I've said it in so many videos. They always do these weapons, whether it's in Marvel Legends or G.I. Joe, with the buttstocks collapsed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that how you fire a rifle, Chad?
No. No.
I'm like this.
No, I had mine in third position, right, for my eye relief, but
yeah.
What do we know? Come on. We don't know.
Oh.
You don't know. You don't
know. Yeah, this looks all right.
Yep.
I know you don't collect classified, but if you did, would this be one you'd get? This is my kind of figure, you know. I like the army
I
guys.
did, I would. You know, there's just enough updates. I don't see that Joe Pro thing on him, which is interesting, right? Because remember they were using that weird communication thing. They were still using the Joe Pro for a while. Don't see that on him, but he's got just enough updates on his vest, which, you know, it's not a plate carrier, but he's got the combat pants with the knee pads. It's sculpted well. It looks good.
Yeah. I think that looks like it might be some sort of a comms piece in the drop leg holster there, like a bit of an antenna coming out, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah,
maybe like a Hojo, you know, like a portable radio.
Yeah, something like that. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with Footloose.
Yeah,
I'm sure they've done a name only reveal for Footloose. I think.
I know they did Law and Order.
They've done a name only reveal for that yesterday. They didn't do the name only reveal for Footloose yesterday. I think they've done that previously. I do believe Footloose is coming. I loved Footloose in childhood, man. He was so cool.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah. You know, at the time I was watching movies like Heartbreak Ridge, and Footloose looked more like the Marines in that than Leatherneck did.
Absolutely.
Headcanon says it looks more Marine than the 60th Sniper. We'll get into the 60th Sniper soon. I have a funny feeling Chad has some things to say.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we're probably going to spend a lot of time on those two 60th anniversary figures. So, I have no idea what's next in this slide pack. Zandar. Yeah, looking like an 80s band member.
Yeah, he's like borderline Twisted Sister and Striper. He's like in there somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got a fond memory of this figure in childhood because when we moved to Australia, we had we flew to Singapore and we had to stop over, and I went to this massive Toys R Us store in Singapore. This was in late 1988. They had this huge Toys R Us store on Orchard Street, which is like the main shopping street in the middle of Singapore City. And we went in there, and it was the first time I went, because I knew of G.I. Joe. Having come from the UK where I was collecting Action Force International Heroes, and then I saw the same figures on different, with these different labels on the card back. That was the moment I realized that G.I. Joe and Action Force were the same thing. And I got the Dreadnought Cycle, and I got this action figure in Singapore. And I played with it around the rooftop swimming pool at the hotel we were staying in.
That's awesome.
I've got to... Go ahead.
I find it interesting that they muted down his hair. He's not very pink. No,
they made a big point of saying that his pink neck scarf, they color matched it to Zarana's shirt. Apparently it's supposed to be like the ripped off bottom of her shirt or something.
Oh.
Did that happen in a cartoon or a comic? I don't know.
I don't know. I like the fact that they updated his torso with like a Molly vest. He's got that cross draw holster. I do like that kind of updating. I will say that.
Yeah,
they're going both his blades in his backpack.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not a bad looking backpack as well. I think that's new tooling.
I believe so.
I haven't seen that before. Yeah, they're going hard on the Dreadnoks, man. I think the Joe team at the moment, they like their Dreadnoks.
Yeah, I'd agree. He doesn't look too bad.
So I want to know what the chat thinks. For those of you in the chat who collect G.I. Joe classifieds, is this a must-have? Is this an easy pass? What do you guys in the chat think about Zandar?
That bastards, that one.
Is Zandar's rifle already bent in the render to prepare us? It does look a little bent towards the tip there. Just the tip. So we got people saying meh, pass. Some people love him. A lot of people saying it's an easy pass for them. Maximilian Tucker, all dreadnoughts are must-haves. And we got another dreadnought to talk about a bit later.
Oh yeah, we do. And then like Forlom said, I never had Zandar, and that's kind of a common theme that you see across a lot of the collecting space, where people are either getting into Joe or getting back into it as an adult. They're seeing a lot of these figures in 6-inch form that they didn't have in O-ring form, and so that's cool. You know, if that's your jam, that's cool.
I mean, I can't believe we're how many years into classified and we still don't have the original 13.
Yep.
We're like a long way off the original 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have been the guy working there at, every meeting I'd be like, so where's Flash? Every meeting, so where's Flash? Where's Short Fuse? Where's Zap?
Yep. Zap. I want to see what they do with Zap. So they are doing a retro card rock and roll. So it'll be interesting to see how they update that and make.
I bet you it's gonna be retro Duke repainted the body.
Yep.
With just the cross linked 762 and probably Duke's, the retro Duke brain bucket.
Yeah. Yep. Kiwi Geo Customs and Collection says, "Bring me Short Fuse." Yeah,
I love Short Fuse.
Oh, dude, to have a mortar in this scale,
yeah,
I would buy that figure. Provided they don't fuck up the mortar, because they're track record being what it is.
Yeah. It'll be sitting like this on the base plate. Boom, firing backwards. I don't know.
Well, dude, I really wanted to get Doc for the stretcher, and then when that was based on the digital render reveal.
Right.
Then when I started seeing images of it, like it just folds in half, and he wears it on his backpack like a folding deck chair. Like it doesn't fold up properly.
Nobody wears a litter on their back. You know that?
Yeah. I kind of want that figure just for the litter accessory, to be able to whack it in the back of my Vanguard or something like that. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. What's next? All right. First question for you, Chad. So this is the 60th anniversary Marine Sniper.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on their choice to make this figure female?
Hold on. See ya. She's off. She's actually off to the range.
Okay.
No. I'm trying to be measured, but no.
Yeah, it's a big no for me, and it's not. I'm not against inclusion, diversity, any of that kind of thing, but I made my video about the 60th anniversary Action Soldier, which is like the worst G.I. Joe. Certainly the worst classified figure I've ever experienced.
Yeah, he's crap.
It's the 60th anniversary for a reason. It's supposed to be harking back to the originals. The only female in the original line didn't come out 60 years ago. She came out about 58 years ago. That was the GI Nurse. So I look at this as Army guys, they really want the soldier. Navy guys want the diver. If you're a Marine, this is what you've got representing her. Like, she's a pretty skinny chick as well.
Yeah. And the original Action Marine and even the 30th anniversary O-ring homage version, had a lot of awesome accessories, very toyetic, lots of play features. I'm fine with females being in combat arms. I mean, shit, the mam's an infantry officer, but at the same time, is this a representation of Marine snipers, the majority of Marine snipers? No. Is it a representation of, the original Action Marine? No. And I don't want them to do cookie cutter everything, but at the same time, I think this is too far.
Yeah.
It's just too much. And is she going to have all the articulation issues? Is she going to be able to lie down in the prone and look down that scope? Or is she going to be looking in the dirt like the soldier was? I don't, it's just, it's not necessarily that it's complaining to complain when we talk about this stuff, but if you have a track record, it brings those questions to bear. You have to ask those questions. And I don't know, man. I don't see it.
So I do like I like the boonie hat. I like that they've done a boonie hat in the line. Bobby's not a fan of them, but I keep asking him like we need one in the Valorverse line. Yeah. But so they've done the swappable hairpiece thing, but rather than being the hairpiece, you can either have the boonie hat or you can go to the cap with the shooting glasses and a bit of a headset. Or,
yeah, that's kind of cool with the Peltors and the Eye Pro, because that's like that. I mean, that was my look every day, so I'm a big fan of that.
Then we've got this alternate head with the camouflage face paint and a Rambo headband.
Tunnel rat.
It's Tunnel Rat.
This is like female Tunnel Rat. That's what it is.
It's Tunnel Rat's sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever met US Marines who walk around with a headband with the tassels blowing in the wind?
Nope.
Nah.
Never.
Nah.
Boonie hats all day long. They love their boonie hats.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now the Solid Snake headband thing is just a little much.
Solid Snake, yeah. Uzi?
No. Suppressed sidearm? Sure. Uzi? Nah.
I know US Marines don't use Uzis now, but back in the 80s, it was actually the Israeli Defense Force using Uzis, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a very odd choice.
Secret Service, they love their Uzis, but
but can't holster their weapons.
Right. But I remember when, not trying to get into current, but we're talking about Uzis, when Reagan, right, when the attempt was made on Reagan and his Secret Service, like when they were all blocking him and they all pulled out Uzis. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. What the hell is that thing at the top?
Nothing. I don't. Is it supposed
I thought it was a nail gun. Like she does a bit of carpentry on the side.
Right. It looks like that's where the air hose plugs in on that weird angled. Is that supposed to be the magazine? It looks like that's supposed to be the magazine, and then there's the trigger grip in the back, and then the gangster grip on the front. I have no idea if that's supposed to be some kind of play on that corner shot, or maybe one of them saw Chris Vector and stayed up too late, and they were like, "Yeah, I bet you I could freehand that," and then that's what they came up with. I don't know. It's terrible looking, whatever it is.
That's
bad.
And then we have the ghillie poncho.
Yeah. That's not a suit at all.
No. And and they talked about, again in their stream that they've wanted to bring a ghillie suit into the line for a long time. They probably wanted to bring it in ever since Bobby did one. But
wink. Yeah.
But you've made one that you can't put on any of your male figures. And again, I'm not against inclusion, diversity, any of that kind of thing, but it is a predominantly male universe, G.I. Joe. And it's like, you're going to go to the effort of making an accessory like this that you want to be able to give this to Leatherneck and
right.
Lowlight and I doubt it would even fit them. So
Stalker.
Yeah. Can you imagine Stalker with this? I was just totally confused, man, when I was looking at these images. I was like, wow, what are they doing? I was starting to think that we'd missed the boat on the 60th anniversary because, you know, Joe's birthday's in February.
Yes.
2nd of February, 3rd of February, something like that. So here we are, you know, 5 months later, they're finally revealing this, and these go up for pre-order soon. They've gone up for pre-order. I think they went up earlier today. So
I went to look for the Sergeant Cup Triple T, and that's not up yet. That's the only thing I care about. So yeah.
Are you gonna get that?
Yeah, I'll get it.
It's good that because he comes with. I don't have a slide of that, but comes with Leatherneck as well. So we're getting a couple of O-ring figures. It looks good, man. It looks good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to knock us off track, but I haven't really had a problem with any of them that I've gotten so far. So yeah, I'll pick it up.
Have you gotten all of them so far?
Yes.
So what have they done? The Ore Striker, the Thunder Machine, the Hiss.
That's it.
Yep. That's it. Yeah. So now the Triple T, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Cup Triple T, and then the Optimus Mobat with another Decepticon in there somewhere. So Thank you, Marnius. Yep.
He says Cup won't be up yet. I think they said in a couple of weeks. Cool.
I don't listen to whatever they say. I just go look for myself.
Yeah.
I can't hear them speak. I just no.
GeForce Racing says that ghillie poncho blends great with other ponchos.
Yeah, that's what they did. You know what I mean? When they did the toy photography, they were like, just throw like 14 ponchos down and put the figure on top of it. Done.
Yeah, it just looks like the photo on the right just looks like a busted up sandbag.
Yeah.
Suka, thank you for becoming a channel member. Very much appreciated. And same Samuel Edwards just became a YouTube channel member. Thank you very much. And we have a super chat here from Jason Evangelista. Thank you. Not happy about that 60th anniversary Marine Sniper, but here's to your channel, Tony. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not happy about it. As much as I was disappointed with the infantry soldier, I think I've got them. Yeah, I've got them around there. So I've got the soldier and the diver. Just the fact that I collect Joe going all the way back to 1964. That's some of my favorite. I probably like the 60s Joes more than I even like a Real American Hero. So part of me was like, well, get the whole set of the 60th anniversary. Even though you don't like them all, you know, it's a commemorative edition. No, I'm tapping out. I am not getting this.
Well, that was me in the 30th anniversary O-ring Joes in '94. I was like, yeah, I want them all because they did pay a very honest to goodness homage to the original moving fighting man, and I like them. I like them a lot.
Yeah. Big M just became a channel member. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and Joe Bit, thank you for the super chat. Oh, Big M's a buddy of yours?
Yep.
I don't think I've seen the name before. So if you brought him over to my channel, thank you very much, man.
I don't know, but I just know he's a stand-up guy. So
good stuff. And if there's anyone in my audience who's not already subscribed to Chad's channel, link in the description below. Joe Bits, thank you for the super chat, my friend. He says, gentlemen, hope your Comic-Con Friday is going well. Question, did 12-inch Joe discontinue in 76 or 77? Thanks for your time. Chad?
I don't know.
I believe it was 77, but I would have to go back and check. But I'm pretty certain it was 77. It had really... By 77, it was a very sparse offering, but yeah, that's after the Eagle-Eyed Joes. That's when Adventure Team kind of ended. Then we got
Super Joe.
a year or so of Super Joe, and then 4 odd years of no GI Joe whatsoever. So,
well, I'm looking.
I think when you look, you're probably going to find discrepancies in the information that's available online.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So
the Joe line ended in America in 1976. Super Joe was 1977 to 78.
There you go. So, but when they say it discontinued it ended in 76 was the last year it was on shelves, so it was still active in 76.
Still around, yeah.
So the following year is when it was discontinued.
Yeah.
We're splitting hairs now.
Exactly. That's why, like, when you see an unproduced vehicle and it says 1991 on it, well, it wasn't going to come out in 91. They designed it in 91. That doesn't mean anything, right? So, yeah, that's that whole splitting hairs about it.
Yeah, so it's if you go to the Yojo website, yojo.com website,
yep,
and you'll look up all the different figures, they'll say this figure was first released in 86, it was sold again in 87, discontinued in 88, which meant it was on shelves in 87, was not on shelves in 88. Right. So if it was on shelves in 76, that was the last year. The year it was discontinued would have been 77.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I got another 12-inch Joe today.
Yeah.
I got the Adventures of G.I. Joe Police Officer.
Where's that from?
Hasbro? I don't know. Well, my buddy found it at an antique store, and he was like, hey, do you want this? And I was like, I have never seen that, Joe. Yeah, I want it. And then I sent a picture of it to Greg from Cotswold Collectibles, and I'm like, have you ever seen this guy? And he's like, yeah, I've got one in the store for sale. And I was like, my buddy just gave him to me. It's pretty rad. He's on a big ass card back. Yeah, he's over there in the kitchen.
You want to go grab it?
Yeah, I get it.
I want to see it. Thanks, man. All right, I'll keep the chat going here. So a lot of people think 1976, so I'm trying to get it correct. So I think 1976, Joe Bits, is the last year that G.I. Joe was on shelves. So that's why, yeah, some people say it discontinued in 77, as in that's the year it was no longer on shelves. So there we go. Bat Fast Turd says, were 12-inch Joe's action team at the time, or were they DC'd? What's DC'd?
Discontinued? Adventure team.
Adventure team, not action. Action team was what it was called in Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess depending on where he's located, geographically. But yeah, it was adventure team when they were they pivoted away from all the Vietnam stuff.
Yes, I remember that. So when I said to you, where's it from? What I meant was, when is it from?
1999.
1999. Yeah.
But
yeah, they were doing some cool stuff then. They really were.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. So
they around that same time they did a 12-inch G.I. Joe Indiana Jones crossover.
Yes.
I've always wanted to pick up that toy. I'll have a look around on eBay later on.
And then there's the Texas Ranger one. Yeah, there's some cool ones. There's some pretty cool ones.
Yeah.
I'm getting more into the 1/6 stuff. I am. So
have you got the Hall of Fame stuff?
I do. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I have some of them in my game room.
So they were coming out in toy stores in Australia, I want to say 1993, I think they hit Australia. No, it was like a year or two after you guys got them. And because I hadn't seen 12-inch anything on shelves in so long, even though they were crappy and badly articulated, I was buying all of this stuff. I was like 15, 16 at the time when they were coming out.
Right.
I got the Duke, I got the Talking Duke, and all those. I really liked Ace because he had that high altitude helmet and everything like that. God knows what's happened to them over the years, but even though they're bad toys, I've always wanted to make a video about the Hall of Fame and how this one big retail buyer who worked for Target actually was hounding Hasbro, because he was a fan of the stuff when he was a kid. He's like,
Yep.
bring back the 12-inch. And this one guy started a tidal wave, because then throughout the 90s and into the 2000s, the 12-inch craze came back, and G.I. Joe was doing classic collection, timeless collection, all of this awesome stuff. Yeah. All thanks to this one retail buyer from Target.
Yeah, exactly. Kirk Bazigian talked about that guy. He was related to somebody. He was a buyer from Target, but there was like a reason why he had an in. I would have to go back and rewatch some of my conversations with Kirk Bazigian, but yeah, he talked about that at length, about the Hall of Fame and how that came about. It's a pretty cool story. If I remember it.
It's one of those things. It's on. I keep this massive list of just video ideas. I get an idea and I just jot it down in this list that I keep on my Google Drive. And that's been on there for a long time, like a video talking about how. But I'm going to have to go out and at least buy the first wave of Hall of Fame figures. So you had Stalker, Snake Eyes, Duke, Cobra Commander, and then Talking Duke. Yeah.
And I have the Snake Eyes version 3. I have the Ninja Force Storm Shadow. I have Hooded Cobra Commander. Hooded. I think I have another Snake Eyes.
I loved it.
His off, yeah.
His hood could come off, and he was like a masked face underneath. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, couple more images here.
The texture on that boonie looks weird. And that's supposed to be leaves?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, because boonie hats are ripstop. I don't, whatever. It's all good. It's all good.
I think a lot of people are disappointed with this offering. It just doesn't scream Marine to me. Mm-mm. It doesn't scream Marine. Like the camouflage isn't right. When you start giving figures iconic weapons that are not associated with the branch of service, like this was, this is like Chuck Norris in Delta Force, Terminator, right. The Israeli Defense Force in the 80s.
Yeah. Uzi 9mm.
Yeah.
And the thing is, for all of the branches that integrated, the Marine Corps was the one that was most against it. They did numerous studies of an all-male company against an all-female company or integrated companies and how they could perform, their tactics, techniques, and procedures, or like their battle drills and things like that. And numbers don't lie. And so the Marine Corps was very much against the integration out of all of the branches. Army was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like our MPs have been doing it for decades.
Yeah.
And so to make the females, the Marine sniper, specifically a female, I'm sure there's probably some jarheads out there that are like, angrily eating their crayons and freaking out. But
oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And like Robert Diaz here, and this is one of the arguments that the Marine Corps were using at the time against integration. Most people can't carry more than their own body weight on their back, and the gear here weighs more than the person with this 60th Marine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially with that mountain ruck. You fill up a mountain ruck, and then ammo, water, ounces equals pounds, pounds equals pain, and she's not moving.
Nope. Yeah. Hank Kaufman, thank you for becoming a YouTube channel member. Much appreciated. Sweet. I'm definitely going to have to do a channel member stream in the next few days.
Everybody missed you.
Yeah. I missed everyone else. It's frustrating. For those who don't know, I did share something on the community tab, although I might have only shared that for channel members. I don't know. I've had a really busy 3 weeks at work. I've been doing more than 13 hours. I've been getting to work at like 4:45 in the morning. leaving at 6 p.m. It's a 30-minute travel each way. And I had like 1 day off in 3 weeks. So I finished Wednesday. I was exhausted. So I did kind of nothing for 2 days. And then I'm working on my Valaverse Vanguard review video. That's going to come out next week.
Nice.
That's the next video you're going to see. But in the meantime, like I saw all these reveals yesterday, and I'm like, I've got to talk to my buddy Chad about this stuff. Yeah,
I gotta say, I feel a little guilty because for 2 days in a row, I actually had to set an alarm on my phone, and I was like really distraught about it. I was like, man, what do you mean I gotta get up?
You've slipped into that retired life very comfortably, haven't you?
100%, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm either barefoot or slippers or sitting around. I love it.
Yeah. Larkin's Lair, thank you very much for the super chat. He said, I enjoyed your Action Force series a lot. Thank you for making those videos. Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm super proud of that video series.
We're talking about the Palatoy one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where I did all, the 5 different teams. So the enemy, the SAS.
Yep.
Then at the end of that, I then went back and did the 82 range, which was Mini Action Man. Yeah. So there is still some Palatoy Action Force stuff I haven't yet talked about, which is like the tail end line when they, we had the Palatoy Action Force Killer Whale and all the different stickers. But man, those toys are super expensive. Yeah, trying to find those with the right type of stickers in the right condition, not easy.
I have to agree with Larkin. When I was getting back into like serious collecting, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to start branching out into the UK stuff. I would just watch your videos over and over and over, like, okay, I need that. Okay, I need that. And then I found Blood for the Baron, and I just started chipping away at it wherever I could.
And that was the whole intent of the video series, was to provide, an entertaining video that collectors could use as a guide to every single thing that came out in each team, what year it came out in. And none of that would have been possible without a friend of ours called George Aitken. He really started me down. He sent me this amazing gift box, and the next thing I know, I was on eBay for the next 12 months just buying Action Force stuff. So,
oh yeah, he's everyone's favorite Bond villain.
Yeah. Larkin's Lair, thank you for the super chat. And another super chat here from Father Son Galaxy. Thank you very much. The 60th anniversary should have been 12-inch Nam, Stalker, Storm Shadow, and Snake Eyes. That would have been cool, but again, you're taking characters from the 80,
Yeah, because that would be like a 38th anniversary version.
Yeah.
But still, like, I get the point because it goes back to Nam. We were Nam in the 60s. Like, I see the point that he's making.
So, dude, you were at DFW.
Uh-huh.
There is still a big community of collectors there of 12-inch Joes.
Absolutely.
There was tons of stuff there. People kept sending me photos of a $5,000 African-American soldier from 64. I'm like, yeah, that's the one I want, but I haven't got $5,000 to drop on a dolly. So,
no, absolutely not.
The 12-inch collector has been underserved for a long, long time, man. This was their one opportunity to do something for them for the first time in about a decade.
I agree.
And they went full classified.
And you never go full classified. That's why
you never go full classified.
60th anniversary should have been do 12-inch, do 3 3/4, and do 6-inch. Just do like a range of figures in each scale. And that's how you sell it, like as a set. Like the 60th anniversary, we're celebrating all things G.I. Joe. Those are the 3 main scales. Not getting into brass tacks about freaking G.I. Joe Extreme or, the modern articulations are 4-inch. But give those 3 scales, 1/6, 1/18, 1/12. Boom. There you go.
Yeah. Yep.
But,
That's what I would have done.
And even Suka said in the comments, like, she would have been better served as a green shirt. I agree. Give her the XMLR, the laser rifle, the laser blaster, and make her a green shirt. Whatever. What do we know?
So it's already the right color.
Exactly.
So now we move on to, and I have a lot to say here.
Yeah.
Is Master Son 42 in the chat? Please raise your hand, sir, if you are here. I need. So, does this look like a member of the Air Force?
Yeah. No, I don't.
It should have been like para-rescue or something like that, but this looks like a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
A halo jumper Navy SEAL.
Yeah, and just like Ike said, they could have made him TAC P. But, TAC P is not going to come with all that crap. They're going to come with some of that stuff, but a lot of different stuff. Right?
Now, don't get me wrong.
Commo? If you're going to be TAC P or even a PJ, where's your commo? Like, you have no commo. It's, again, this is just that whole, like, well, what looks cool? Give them a vomitorium of weird stuff. Like, why do you need to have that many SMGs, dude?
Jason Anderson here says, whoever he is, he drug his guns through the whole catalog.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Lio Convoy, good to see you here, sir. Hope you're doing well. Says, can't be Air Force. No free Wi-Fi is included.
Yeah. He needs to have a bathrobe and slippers and free Wi-Fi and like a plate of like surf and turf or something.
Yeah.
I don't see Master Son, but I don't.
So look, I think weapons aside, just the basic figure, I think this is the best figure in this 60th anniversary series.
I would agree.
But it's not Air Force.
No. I don't see anything that makes him Air Force.
No.
Have you ever seen Air Force try to qual on weapons like these? Oh, forget it. No way.
There was a quite funny photo, which this was a Navy photo, but it went viral like 6 months ago. The guy was out on the ship with the M4 and he had the scope on the wrong way around.
Yeah.
Look, I really like the look of it. I know a lot of people are going to buy this because they want the gear and everything like that.
Yeah, sure.
The soft goods parachute. It's 10 inches in diameter.
That's not
on a
big
6-inch figure.
That's not big enough.
It's not big enough, no.
I hope nobody honestly tries to throw this thing in the air.
Speaking of which, Chad, if you didn't watch the video that they posted where all these reveals came from, I've got a short clip here. Listen to this.
Okay.
Yeah. Depending on the height you're at, it'll work. It's not intended to work.
It's intended to look beautiful.
Look pretty,
Yeah.
essentially, for posing.
Don't throw it off the roof.
Yeah.
Please.
Please don't.
A multi-billion-dollar toy company is telling people not to play with their toys because they're not designed to be played with.
That tells you everything you need to know right there. Like, these are not toys for kids. They're for the nostalgia baiting, discretionary income adults and the deep pocket people. 100%. Like a 10-inch parachute for a 6-inch figure. There's no lift. You proved that in that video that you did with the drone.
Yeah, so that parachute I was using there, that was an Action Man parachute. That would have been close to 30 inches in diameter, not 10.
Yep.
And he needed every ounce of that parachute to be able to and as a matter of fact, when they were doing those parachutes for Action Man in the 70s, they didn't work well enough because they weren't quite big enough. They then came out with a big orange silk parachute a couple of years later that was even bigger, which that worked quite well. A 10-inch parachute's not going to work. And it's like, why go to the effort? I mean, it's just there to look pretty.
Well, even if you look back at the Sky Striker, even the HasLab Sky Striker, now granted, one was plastic, one was soft goods, but also look at the, remember the direct-to-consumer mail-away parachute packs? Those were big. Those were about 14 inches because that parachute pack was gigantic on the back of your Joes.
Yeah. That was huge.
Yeah, they're not for play. It's for display.
Yeah, they said it's there to look pretty. And speaking of which, like Convoy says, why are they wearing pink? It's not Wednesday.
You know why, Lio? You know why? Come on.
Look. Speaking of pink, this is a good segue. I just wanted to bring up the thumbnail for the latest video on the 3POA YouTube channel. I think it's amazing that Laser Pants went to San Diego Comic-Con in cosplay as Jeff W.
Who's an awesome dude. Jeff W is an awesome dude. Didn't he call himself like Glub McShill or something like that?
I don't know. But you see Ryan's t-shirt?
Yeah,
I Heart Hasbro.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some next level trolling.
I've got it right here in a text message from him. Glob Shillman.
Glob Shillman. Shout out to you, Ryan. I hope you're having a great time at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on the Marvel Legends reveal of Rom the Space Knight, of which I have the original back here. Rom the Space Knight. Such a cool toy.
I have the one from the Revolution set that Bobby was part of. I have that Rom. Yep. Yeah, I have that one.
It looks cool, but you know, with Ryan being the Legends guy, I'm going to tune into the next episode to hear his thoughts on all of the new Legends reveals. So
very cool.
All right, so here we have our action pilot, commando, Navy SEAL, Special Forces, Mac VSOG.
That's not a pilot whatsoever. He's not even in a G suit.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess they're
the Halo jumper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
that's ripcord right there.
Oh yeah. Well, you know they're gonna. So some of this gear they've already done for. Did this helmet come with the Dragonfly with one of the figures, one of the unlocked tiers there?
I believe so. Yeah. And, you know, expect a lot of that to get reused for Blowtorch too. And that's okay. But
yeah,
it doesn't scream pilot. Not when you look at him. I don't know.
Absolutely not.
Just me.
Just Jeff says, Tony, have you seen the new Punisher? Yes, I have. And he looks really cool. As soon as I saw it, I was like, damn, I've got to get that figure. And then I found out that it's in a 2-pack with a character that I do not give a crap about. So I've got to pay for 2 figures to get the 1 figure that I want. They're getting pretty good at doing that in the Legends team. And Lio Convoy says, I'm glad you Joe guys are at least getting some cool things. All we Thundercats fans get is suffering and disappointment.
Well, now you're going to get Motu Thundercats crossover stuff.
I was just going to say, that's what I've heard. Yeah, coming out of San Diego Comic-Con, they're going to...
Yeah, Mattel dropped that.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear Lio's thoughts on that.
Joe guy's getting some cool things. Eye of the Beholder. As a 1/18 scale guy, I have been told by the Hasbro overlords to hit the bricks, and so that's fine. I've gone elsewhere, and that's okay.
Yeah. That's why you came over here to talk about it.
Hell yeah.
Impossible Pie. Yes, there's a the Legends team are coming out with a new Punisher, and it does look really cool. He's in 2-tone black, so 2 different colors. So he's like all black, just with the logo. So he doesn't have the white boots and all of that, but he's very comic styled, I really like the look of the figure, but yeah, it's just a shame it comes in a 2-pack with, I think it's with Bushwhacker. It's a very odd looking figure. And Lyle says it's going to suck. It sucked in 2016 and it's going to suck now.
I finally got a chance to meet him face to face at DFW.
Yeah, I heard. I've always wanted to meet Thomas.
It's funny. So like, I just walked up and Ryan was talking to this dude, you know, I mean, I've never seen his face. Most people haven't.
I haven't. No.
I didn't hear him speaking. And so like, I just walked up and I just kind of talked some shit to Ryan, you know, like poo-pooing about somebody or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, do you do YouTube too?" And I looked at him and I was like, "Yeah." And then I went back to what I was doing and I heard him like re-engage his conversation with Ryan. And I was like, I know who you are.
Yep. It's a very distinctive voice. Now, I was hearing these legendary tales of Lyo's handshake grip.
Yeah.
I think Ryan has a few fractured bones in his hand after shaking hands with him.
He does have a man's grip, that's for sure.
Yep.
I'll give him that.
All right. We've talked this figure to death.
Yeah.
Holy crap, we've been going for an hour and I'm on slide 9 and there are 34 slides.
Let's go.
Yeah. You had some coffee?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. This was revealed before San Diego Comic-Con, but they brought it up again.
Yeah.
They put the British flag on Quarrel's shoulder. They talked about how cool it was to bring this British character in. She's Swedish in the mythology.
She is Swedish. You can see the Z on the picture on the right. You can see that Z on there.
That's pretty cool.
So then why is she Night Force?
I don't know, man. And I
had numerous questions about this, and I'm like, so you bring her in, you call her Night Force, but she's got the Z Force on her shoulder, and then are you making her Steel Core, or is Steel Core just everybody's generic like fallback helmet now, like the clear visors were in '82?
Everybody.
And then if you're gonna do frickin' Quarrel, just repaint the damn ram again. Instead of doing Night Force Shockwave, you should have. If you knew you were doing Quarrel, just give her the Z Force ram cycle. Call it a day.
Dude, that would have been a slam dunk for them. If they had have done Quarrel in the right colors of green, you know, the Z Force colors, done the ram cycle in the same colors, you're going to get people like me.
Yeah. I'd have bought
I'm dipping my toe back into the pool again. But
I made a Z Force Quarrel. When the Wave 1 Scarlet came out, I repainted her into Quarrel. You've seen it, and I'd still buy it. I would buy it if she came with that ram, 100%.
Yeah. Michael here says they at least got Lieutenant Shovelface right. They've obviously heard the complaints.
Yeah, they did rectify that Matt Damon head.
Yeah, or maybe they just didn't want to keep paying likeness rights to Matt Damon. I don't know.
You know, he called them up one day and he was like, "Where's my check?" And they're like, "Oh, okay, hold
on." KBA has a very good point. Why does she have a
Milcor? I don't know.
Yeah.
You already have the crossbow.
Yeah, so these come with steel core helmets. Everyone these days, the clutch with the Vamp came with a steel core helmet, like
Grunt.
What?
And then everybody's like, cool, I can use him as an army builder. And I'm like, it says Graves on the body armor. If he was supposed to be an army builder, why did they put his name, the only figure with a name tape on his plate carrier? Why are you going to make Grunt, who had a very rich story in the comics, why are you making him an army builder? There's literally no rhyme or reason to most of this stuff.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, all right. backwards effects again. That pose is shit. When I saw that pose, I was like, who posed that?
Yeah.
It's like a 2-second pose, like tuck it in, put it up. There you go.
A lot of reuse in this pack, man. A lot of reuse.
Yeah, that's
the head
Retro
sculpt.
Duke.
The head sculpt looks like the 1990s Action Man when he came back out again under the Hasbro banner with this huge jaw.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's going to have a cereal box packed in. Whoopee.
Yep.
You know, you could make one of those yourself. Look, I was never a fan of Starduster as a kid. It's not a figure I want to get for my vintage collection. Have you got one there?
It's the Duke one, but yeah, it's a scaled cereal box.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. Whatever.
Yeah. This is a PulseCon exclusive, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, he looks like Starduster. At least they got Starduster back. They lost that copyright for a while too.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, the modern one's now called Starduster.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The 4-inch club version.
Yeah.
But I mean, aside from the freaking backwards fire effects again, whatever. It's
yeah.
You know, he's got the M79, which, you know, Starduster had the M79. He's got the helmet with the star on it. One of the versions of Starduster had that. I don't get that other helmet. I don't know what's going on with that. And he's got the jump. That's cool. When are they going to put out the jump jet pad?
Is that another Steel Core helmet? Another one? Or is that different?
It looks weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got Duke's binos. That's mostly Retro Duke repaint.
Oh, the whole upper torso is Retro Duke, yeah. Well,
yeah.
Probably most of the figure, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Jason Evangelista says, I'm so glad I have no FOMO for the classified line. Most of these, I easy passed on them without any regrets.
That term is called JOMO. It's the joy of missing out. And I experience it every day. Whenever somebody poo-poos about a pre-order that they couldn't get, or their bendy weapons, or the wheels falling off their vamp, I just experience my JOMO all over again.
Yeah. TK Storm says, he looks more like an Air Force guy than the Air Force guy. This is almost Space Force, this is.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the right colors. That's a weird-looking camouflage on his pants, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about this one.
Oh.
Take it away, Chad.
What the hell with this Road Pig? Like, Road Pig's supposed to be like some big, crazy, imposing guy. I'm not saying that the buck, like, hey, at least they gave him, a bulkier buck, but that head looks like something out of Pixar. Look at that head sculpt. That head sculpt is crap. Yep. And then, of course, they had to make him a deluxe, give him a pit bull and whatever that boar mask is and stuff. I don't know. I think this is Lenny just running with an idea. When you don't have like a Daryl DePriest, a Kirk Pazigian, a Vinny DeLevia standing behind you with a red pen going, no, this is what you get right here. And I'm not crapping on the people who are excited for this figure, but that head sculpt looks far too cartoonish for someone like Road Pig. Every other incarnation of Road Pig, he has like, he looks serious. He looks like he's going to swing that cinder block weapon into your face.
Yeah.
This looks like Pixar. Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph. Even my stupid Sky Pig that came with my my Fun School vehicle looks more imposing than this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget it. Baby Huey. What's up, Nikki?
Baby Huey.
Nikki sent me a bunch of screenshots earlier about people all crying about this, that, and the other thing. And she was like, huge G.I. Joe guys. And I'm like, whoa, not me. Like, I don't care.
Does his belly tattoo say
No raggarts?
Apparently it says dreadnoughts.
Oh,
but you can't make it out.
Okay.
Look, so is that thing next to the alternate head, is that a mask? Like a pig mask?
Yeah.
Where in the fuck?
And then he has a muzzle too. I guess we're going off the whole Mutt junkyard thing again. So Mutt wears the muzzle, not junkyard. So Road Pig wears the muzzle and not Pixar or whatever that dog's name is.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan says he looks like Viper Island's wife's boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
It probably says doorknobs. Yeah.
Oh man, this chat's cracking me up. Eugene Levy on steroids and a sumo diet. Yep.
Oh, the dog's name is Raucous.
Really?
Not that's what Marnius 28 says. Yeah. So not Ruckus, but Raucous, huh? Okay. Yeah, Brian Stevens says he looks like he's a crude from the animated movies. Kind of does.
Yeah. Road pigging out. Oh, yeah.
You know, one thing, if I'm gonna say something positive about this, at least he doesn't have that horrible right angle ab crunch. At least he has the torso. I will say that.
Yep. This comes with a lot of stuff, man.
I wonder who at Hasbro 3D scanned their own gut to make this figure. You knew that was coming.
Look, yeah, I mean that's the stomach of most middle-aged Joe collectors, I think. Not all.
Yeah, not all. Yeah, the riot shield.
Yeah, look, they've packed him in with so much stuff. Why not give him? Maybe they'll do a retro card version later on, but they would have to retool the whole thing because this doesn't look like the retro Road Pig at all.
No, no.
Comes with a tramp stamp on his back.
Wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Yeah.
Yep. And Tampo printed stretch marks.
It's terrible. Yeah. I think some of this fault. And what's up with the ice axe? You know, some of these things that you see, it's just, well, what do we have available? And I understand that. I've always been okay with that. But an ice axe? And to just give a base figure a vomitorium of stuff to give some kind of like perceived value or to increase the price, I think that's a little
Yeah.
You know, no, the hide gets Timon and Pumbaa. This guy gets a pit bull. Why do you have an ice axe? There's just questions.
There's a lot of questions. I want to say hello to Yojo Jerk.
I was on with them last night.
Chat and chat. Yeah. Good to see you here, mate.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah. This is going to be a $60 figure, $50 figure.
Look at his face. He just looks so dumb.
That is Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam.
We've got Raptor.
Okay. I want to say Suka. Somebody pointed this out to me today, and I was like, you know what? I didn't even notice. Why does he have the Joe background? He doesn't have a red background. And I never noticed it until somebody pointed it out, and now I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a minor observation, but it's still, you know, it's an accurate observation.
It is.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the Vulture. Ab crunch. Fuck that. There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jimmy Purvis here. Not a fan of the original Raptor, but this figure actually looks cool. That's kind of how I feel. I was not a fan of Raptor or Crystal Ball or any of those types of characters when I was in childhood. This does look good. But this looks
makes
like
more sense than a guy with a soft goods, like Spider-Man web thing going on. It does make more sense.
This could also almost be a figure that someone could like buy this, put it into their Marvel Legends collection, and just create, their own backstory for a new character type thing.
Is that straight from the Spider-Man Homecoming Vulture? Looks
potentially. Yeah.
I mean, who cares? Whatever.
Yeah. He does look weird with his mask off.
He looks like Dick Grayson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yep. Condor Man. Maximilian Tucker says Larry Hama hated this guy. Yeah.
He did. Correct.
Yeah, this is when Joe started jumping the shark big time.
Oh yeah, when you got him and Crystal Ball and nope. I'll take the Techno Viper, but those guys can beat it. I've never had Vulture or Raptor.
Yep. I do like the fact that they've articulated the wings so that it can actually use it as a bit of armor. That's a cool way to display that figure on your shelf if you're into this.
I will agree with that as well. And that's kind of also. Do you remember the Night Viper? How the Night Viper kind of had that?
Yep.
Yeah. So it kind of feels like that too.
Yeah. Look, I was not in any way excited for this figure. This was one of the better reveals of the day. I think this actually looks really cool. It's just a question of whether you're into that kind of thing in your Joe universe.
Yeah. At least they made efforts to update him, like they tried to update Road Pig, and you saw where that went. At least when they updated Raptor, it went the other direction.
Yeah,
so I will give them that. They didn't go the Road Pig route.
No, they didn't go full classified.
No. Yeah.
So what are they calling this guy on the right here? Twilight Guard or?
Yeah. So it's not Crimson Shadow Guard, it's Twilight Guard now. And we're going back to the Nerf guns.
Yeah.
That's a bold move.
This is just utter trash. This is destined to fill the basement of every Ollie's in the country.
Yeah, this is Army Builder City, and why so many accessories when they already know that their accessories are like the sticking point with so many people? It's a vomitorium of weapons for, perceived value. To go back to the Nerf, we'll see how that pans out. I don't care that they changed the name of, Crimson Shadow to, Twilight Guard or whatever. Because I'm sure at least one of the people on that team loves Twilight, but and this is still it's not. Well, obviously it can't be Steel Brigade one way or the other because we all know why.
Yeah,
but it's not Steel Corps Delta; it's Steel Corps Commander. Okay.
Yeah. They did talk about wanting to get the gold head in there somewhere, but there
you go.
If you're going to give the figures this many accessories, then give them. How many? What's he got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 firearms.
Yeah, so he has 2 long rifles, a light machine gun, a sidearm, and 2 submachine guns, and a freaking knife.
Yeah.
I mean, you always need a cutting tool, right? That's one of your 5 C's of survival. That's great, but I'm not going to carry a belt-fed weapon, an open bolt, and 2 rifles. I'm not going to carry a belt-fed and 1 rifle. I'll just take the suppressed one at the top and the sidearm, and we'll call it a day. That's too much stuff.
Axel 06 says, easy pass. Why did they bother with this?
Repaint quick money.
Yeah. Well, but the weird thing is, if that's the soft goods cape on the Twilight Guard.
Yeah.
All this reuse, and they've pumped money into, soft goods are expensive, man. And
yeah,
this is not going to sell. This is going to.
Is this a 2-pack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's a 2-pack.
All right.
Oh, well, that was crap.
And the thing is, I love the Crimson Shadow Guards. I love them. I've always loved them. And I don't. Is he purple? Are his arms purple?
Just on the inside. He's got some purple.
All right.
So I think it's black on the outside, a little bit of purple on the inside.
Okay.
He's got a nice flower blooming out of his gun barrel there.
Yeah, and the steel core, not Delta gold head guy. Is that an underbarrel shotgun like a master key, or is that supposed to be a 40 millimeter? Can you go back one if you don't mind? I'm gonna nitpick. I don't even see one. Oh no, there it is under the SMG.
Yeah. It's a 40 millimeter scale to about 18 millimeters.
Oh, okay. Well, they.
Yep.
They have no idea how 40 millimeters fire, obviously.
Yeah, no. All right, so we've clearly not been impressed by too much here today. I do think I think Raptor is probably one of the best offerings that they revealed. I do really like the look of the Halo jumper. It's just not, an Air Force.
No, it's ripcord.
Yeah. But now we get to the HasLab.
Let's do it.
The most best kept secret in the modern toy collecting world. I don't think anybody guessed that this is what it was going to be.
Nope.
They've only been talking about this for months and months and months, that this is what it was going to be.
Yeah, a year and a half ago.
Yeah. So we're getting a 6-inch scale Cobra Rattler. What do you think?
Why? But why?
Do you think it looks good?
I think it looks good, yes. I think it has to look good, especially for being a crowdfund. It better look good. And you can see the effort that's put into the crowdfunds versus the non-crowdfunds, because when you put that classified hiss next to the vamp, you see the difference.
How much was the hiss tank?
Oh, I want to say, I don't know, 300, 350. Somebody in the chat knows.
It was one of the two. Chat, please remind me, how much was the hiss tank?
275.
No, the Dragonfly was
That's
275.
Dragonfly, yeah.
The hiss tank was 300.
Yeah, 300.
This is 325. So I think the price is about there. This is the biggest HasLab they've done so far. This is bigger than the Dragonfly. The hiss was 299. Yep. And it was 275, I think, or 285. I can't remember now. I think the price is there for the offering.
Yeah, I agree.
It looks pretty cool. Obviously comes with Wild Weasel as part of the base offering.
Lots of lights too.
Lots of lights. Yeah. What did you say earlier? What did you think Wild Weasel looked like?
Oh, that he looked like what did I say? I don't remember.
It was before we went live.
He looked like one of the original 13. I don't remember whose name I just chucked out there, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a good image of it here, but I have seen people online taking close-ups of the panels on his thighs and how all the writing is the wrong way up.
Yeah.
It's those little attention to details, man, that they
when you sit and you look at your maps need to face you, not face away. Like, aesthetically, they're like, well, we can't put them upside down. Oh yeah, you're right. Good call. They no clue. None.
No. Jason Evangelista, thank you very much. He just gifted 5 Analog Toys memberships. That's very much appreciated, sir. For those of you who joined late, I will not be doing an after show today, but I'm off work for the next I think I'm off for about 10 days. So I will be doing a Patreon and channel members only stream sometime early next week.
Very cool.
It won't be tomorrow because I'll be watching UFC tomorrow. Are you streaming Sunday? Sunday's your night, isn't it?
No, I haven't been streaming Sundays in a while.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe I'll do something Sunday if I'm not interrupting anyone else's stream. We'll see. Maybe early next week. We'll see. Do it. It just depends. But I've got other videos I'm working on, and if I break down the live stream setup, I've got to finish the video before I can set it all back up again. So
yeah, understandable.
Yeah.
So yeah, maps upside down. You know what else? He's got pins.
Does he?
Did you see if you look at the close-ups of the figure from Comic-Con, he has pins.
That's probably just the model. I don't think they can do the models without.
But the one that's shown has pins.
Wow.
Yep.
Surely they're not doing that at this stage of the game.
Hopefully not. No.
Yeah. Yeah. GeForce Racing brings up an interesting point. It funded in 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the HIS funded in what, 9?
9 hours.
Yeah.
It was. I know it was quick. Yeah.
It was fast.
So I just logged in here. It's at 10,108 backers. So only about 90 to go, I think, for the first unlock. We'll talk about that unlock in a moment. Because it's dog shit.
Cardboard backdrop.
Yeah. Tim Ward says maybe one of the tiers will be them fixing the paperwork on his legs to the correct orientation.
I bet you if they get enough feedback, they'll fix it. I mean, maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but I would hope that they would.
Well, was it on the Cobra Ferret where they spelt missile incorrectly on some of the printing? Yeah,
I was not aware of that.
Yeah. On the classified Ferret, there's a bit of text like on one of the mud guards, and I'm sure it's like it was the word missile or something. It was about the missiles. One of the words is spelt incorrectly. There's like a letter missing out of it or something. Oh, here we go. Launch. Yeah, launch without an N.
They're like, is it launch? Is it latch? I don't know. Just kind of put something there.
Yeah. So, yeah, lots of lights inside. I think this is a better idea than the HIS tank that's got a light shining down. You know, when you display this and you have it lit up. But again, is it going to be one of them you've got to keep replacing batteries? Collectors want to be able to plug a USB into this thing and leave it on in their display.
Correct.
You don't want to be hauling this big thing down off your shelf or wherever you've got it hanging from your ceiling to change the batteries all the time.
Yeah, and it's a little weird to have a bat signal on a high-speed Sentry vehicle.
Yeah.
But the dash looks good, and they did the battle damage plates like the Rattlers always had. So okay.
Yep. That was a really cool little cool feature with the original Rattler. I never had a Rattler in childhood, but it's one of those vehicles. I really, really wanted a Rattler. I wanted a Rattler more than I had a hydrofoil. I wanted the Rattler more than I wanted the hydrofoil. Yep. Never got one. I now have one thanks to a very, very kind donation to the channel from my buddy Joseph, who actually fully restored it, like polished the plastic, and it's like immaculate, man. And I've got it hanging on the wall in the collection room, in the dogfight with the Sky Striker.
Nice.
Yep.
Come here. Dogs are
I'm right here, Chad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. my border collie, who's actually an Australian Shepherd, she was outside barking. So
yeah. So we got spring-loaded landing gear with manual retraction and push-button release. Hopefully it's not as fragile as the original.
I wonder how much of the hard point armament's going to fall off when it goes, and it spring loads out. Like, how many missiles are going to drop off?
Yep. I think this looks really cool. So you've obviously got the vertical takeoff and landing arrangement with the rotatable wings.
Yep. Which, you need that for a Rattler.
Yeah. So this is 33.5 inches long.
Yeah.
Almost 10 inches high, 32 inches wide, but they didn't tell us how deep it is. You remember the Dragonfly?
Yeah.
We had length, height, and depth.
So deep.
Oh,
hey, at least it's at the top, middle, and the bottom.
Yep. Yeah.
I like the update to the gunner canopy. I do like that kind of, rounded rectangular versus a bubble. It looks good.
And they made a point of noting, it rotates a full 360 degrees, but the gunner doesn't. Just the turret around him.
The whole turret. It's just the top.
Just the top. Yeah. So the guy sitting in there doesn't go anywhere.
See, that's one of those. I try not to be too critical, but we've had toys going back how far where the whole turret will rotate.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, 80s.
So yeah,
easily.
32 inches wide, and they were obviously conscious that some people are going to say, got nowhere to display this. So,
yeah. Now it's an F-18.
You can fold up the wings to put it on a shelf, but who wants to display it like this?
No.
This is something that you hang from a wall or a ceiling. But 32 inch, that's
it's roughly huge. 3 feet by 3 feet.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yep.
I mean, that's almost half a flag.
I mean, I don't know anyone who would buy this wanting to display it like this.
No. The most I could see is if someone had shelves that are, standard bookcase kind of deep, and they would fold up the wing on the inside and leave the outside wing hanging off. But then you're going to run into it, and then the whole thing's going to come off.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, to be able to display my vintage Kenner Slave 1 behind glass, I've had to take the wing off one side to be able to fit it in, and you don't really notice it. But the other wing doesn't protrude off the shelf; it's got a glass door.
Yeah, I did the same thing with my Tomahawk and a few other vehicles where I don't put all the blades in the rotor. I just put like 3, and I leave the far 2 off, and it's up against the shelf. But this is kind of one of those things. It's just my opinion. Again, it's not preaching to anybody or a take it or leave it kind of thing. But this is why I say that classified as square pegs and round holes. You take a line that thrives on being world building with play sets and, battlefield accessories and vehicles of all price points, and you scale it up to Marvel Legends. And this is what you get. You get like super expensive vehicles. You get a $350 hiss when in 2020 there were hisses in Walmart for $25.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all by design.
Yeah.
And I'm stoked for anybody who wants it, but I've got 5 Rattlers. I could not care less about this thing at all.
Dude,
I appreciate the effort, but no, never.
I recently spent $1,600 on a Palatoy Death Star that is currently sitting on the floor because I've got nowhere to display it. I'll be doing a video sometime in the next month or 2.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm going to have to pack it away. If I can't display a vintage cardboard Palatoy Death Star, what the hell am I going to do with this thing?
Exactly. Yeah, I've got
first world problems. I've got too many
Yeah.
toys.
And that's what we've got. We've got first world problems. And those of us, right? We're running out of space. I don't know what like strictly 6-inch or strictly classified collectors are going to do. Especially the ones like, oh yeah, I got 5 hisses. You know, you only opened 1. What are you doing with the other 4?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's your money. If it makes you happy, have at it. You know, sky's the limit. But I am not in on this stuff whatsoever. I'm not.
Look at the size of
one from the Sky Striker.
Look at the size of the display stand. The display stand is 11 inches long.
Yeah.
How deep is it?
Well, I mean, it's got some girth. I don't know about the depth, but it's got some girth.
You see, it's got a little drawer that you can pull out and put all your blast effects in the drawer on the base.
I guess. I mean, obviously, like the missiles all, they all barbell onto the sides. It's same principle as the Sky Striker, which is cool. Even though the Sky Striker one kind of ratchets, so you could put it in different positions.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks good. I will say it looks good. I know that at the very beginning of the chat, someone was talking about how it bothered them that it's orange blast effects coming out of the main gun in the front, the GAU-8 Avenger, and it's blue blast effects coming out of the turret.
Yeah, that was Jason Anderson, and it's I get it. The cartoon, the lasers were blue, but it's be consistent.
Yeah,
even
make them all blue or make them all orange.
Yeah,
yeah.
Weren't the blue lasers Joe's and the red lasers Cobras?
Yes.
So they've got the wrong color. But
look at where the afterburner is hitting. That's probably not good for your airframe.
No,
I'm just saying. If you want to lose your rear stabilizers, that's how you do it right there.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks like it's on fire and it's in the process of crash landing.
Yeah, like all sorts of bird strike.
Yeah,
but I mean, it looks cool.
Okay, tier number 1, 11,000 orders needed.
Patches.
What the?
Obviously, I'm a big fan of Joe Patches. Hello. Hi, dog. I'm a big fan of Joe Patches. But at the same time, how many people who make patches for the G.I. Joe community are just going to reproduce these anyway?
Yeah.
A bunch.
Yeah, look, the chat's telling us how they feel here. The patches are the worst part of this. This tier is the worst.
I will say one thing. This is one of those like random Real American Hero Easter eggs. The patch on the far right that says Tank Smashers.
Yep.
That's what the Rattler was originally called before they changed the name of it to Rattler. It was called the Cobra Tank Smasher.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's kind of a cool little wink and nod. I'll give it that. But, I mean, the A-10, Warthog, Thunderbolt 2, Tank Buster, whatever you want to call it. It makes sense.
Yeah. Jason Anderson says, I want to meet the guy who shows up at a toy show with a Boy Scout merit badge sash with these on it. I don't want to meet that guy.
I do have a con bag that has a bunch of patches on it, but it won't be these patches. So,
but no, look, this was a very, very lame tier.
It's back.
However, so tier 2, 14,000 backers. The way this is going to unlock all the tiers.
Sure.
Am I correct in saying that the Hiss did so well that it unlocked all the tiers that they then ended up throwing in one more at the end? I don't think Cobra Commander was originally announced.
That's correct. And They actually did a switch because originally the HMS was going to be a tier and they took it off.
Yep.
Because remember how they kept harping on the tow hitch?
Yep.
And a lot of us were saying, oh, well, now come the towables. The HMS was going to be a tier for that. So,
yeah.
So this is basically Wild Bill, like a Wild Bill repaint.
Yep.
With some Wild Weasel stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. That's all well and good.
What I do like about this is that it's like it's a generic army builder. They are not hiding a desirable character behind the HasLab. You know, for those people who can't afford this, don't have room to display this, you know, could you let's say it was like an updated version of Destro. People would be pissed that they couldn't get Destro, whereas if you don't get the Rattler, you don't really need this character in your collection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure that point's going to come up again. The only issues that I have with this figure, like Rachel Salinas said, tier 2 is okay, not amazing, just okay. If you're going to give him the red Cobra face mask, why didn't you include at least, the red or just the blue Cobra helmet? That way, if he's out of the aircraft, it makes sense for him to be wearing the face mask because he has the helmet on. If he's wearing the full-faced flight helmet, why does he have a mask? And why does he have an SMG if he's only going to be in an aircraft? You're not firing that SMG out of the aircraft. So it's like they kind of were going for the, he's also going to be on the ground look, but they didn't give him an extra helmet. When you look at other figures like Road Pig and, that Steel Core, and they have vomitoriums of accessories, but a crowdfund can't come with another helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm bitching, I'm yelling at Clouds, but if you want shit crowdfunded, people are going to yell at Clouds.
Look, a helmet would have been a better option than an alternate head, with just two different skin tones.
Yeah. Or take off the SMG, give him another helmet. Just give him the retro Cobra Trooper helmet. Done. Then it makes sense for him to have the red face mask on. Because if he's just going to be G'd up in the flight helmet, no need.
Yep. Jason here says the Rattler gun looks cool. I see no ab crunch.
It's
he's got a vest on.
Yeah. It's underneath the Fuvi vest.
So it's going to be useless, and the vest won't be removable. No. This guy's going to name him Goose.
Oh yeah,
Michael Warren's
out. Yep.
Michael Warren's going to name him Iron Eagle.
All good names.
Yeah. Third unlock, 18,000 backers.
Weren't you saying something about an alternate Destro?
We've had Baronesses before. I think, and we've had some decent Baronesses before. The retro card Baroness was pretty cool. I got that in that free box of shit that Hasbro sent me that they'll never send me ever again. I don't think collectors are going to be too pissed about not having this version of Baroness.
No, but I will say this version looks freaking awesome.
It does. But what I want to know is, when she puts those pistols in her holster, how's she going to sit in the gunner's turret?
That's another thing. I'm sure when figures come with vehicles, from what I've been told, there's 50-50. Some of them sit well, some of them don't. I've had some people tell me that Clutch, you have to like jam him down into that vamp.
You do.
But if you look at everything else G.I. Joe in a 1/18 scale, I'm going to stress that, from 1982 to even right now with the Joe Transformer crossover stuff, they all sit. You can interchange figures in vehicles till your heart's content. With classified, you cannot. Most of these figures will not go to a 90-degree seated position. They will not sit.
Yeah, I was able to get Clutch into the vamp, but you've really got to jam him in there. Otherwise, his eye line is looking straight at the top of the roll bar in front of him. You can get him to look through the windscreen, but it takes a lot of effort to get him in there properly.
And that's kind of my argument about square pegs and round holes. These figures they're not constructed for world building. They're not all meant to go into vehicles.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Not a fan. But
and that's it. So this is the base offering.
Well, at least the fire effects are correct.
Yeah. Those blue blast effects, they really stand out as being right. They should have given us alternate colors.
Yeah.
That's the end of my slide pack, man. I was really aiming for a 2-hour Dude Bro chat, but we'll have to settle for like 2 hours and 1 hour and 50 minutes.
Hey, whatever you want to do.
Look, for those people who are into this, I think this is a cool toy. I just don't understand how that there are, over 10,000 people who have figured out somewhere to display this in their house. You all must have bigger houses than me.
Agreed.
Or you either don't have wives or you have very understanding wives, because
Death Skull, we did talk about Raptor's blue background. We did.
I hadn't even picked up on that. Yeah.
3 feet by 3 feet. Just looking around this room, I'm like, what is that comparable to? It's comparable to like the Leonard Beast Bomber or the True Hero Sentinel 1 AC-130. It's larger than the Night Raven. I mean, that thing is big.
Yeah. Well, it's how tall are you? You're pretty tall.
Me?
Yeah,
I'm 6'4".
Yeah, it's almost half the size of you, bro.
Yeah, that's easily pretty much my hip.
Damn, that's huge. Yeah, you would need a big bit of wall space and literally hang it from a wall. Like I get it comes with a display stand, but what are you going to do? Like put it in the middle of your dining room table and then eat around it? Or
right? It's like that Legacy Millennium Falcon. Like that thing is gigantic.
Yeah,
and that's where a lot of people have those displayed. Like it just takes over a coffee table, or somebody gets like one of those foldable camping tables that you get at like Home Depot, and you just stick it on there in the middle of a room.
Yep.
I'm at such odds about everything regarding the line, the crowdfunding. I don't think that there's not value in this, but value, it's all personal. But at the same time, I don't want to say it's a lot of money, because if you go out and buy a complete vintage Rattler, you're going to pay about the same price.
Yeah.
I just
to get one without broken landing gear, you are.
Yeah. I just don't see it. I know there's a I don't want to say demand. I don't think there's a demand. I think it's just a want for whatever they put out. And I would kind of argue that theory that it's just based on want. It's not demand.
Yeah.
So many people, when Classified first started, and even now today, when I was on with Yojo Jerk and those guys last night, and I was giving my personal thoughts and opinions on this stuff, so many people were like, I'm not into Classified for vehicles. I don't give a shit about vehicles. And I'm like, then why did you back this shit? Just because it's there. So I get it. The psychology of collecting, people get into that, whole fear of missing out thing, because that is a real, reaction that people have. Every time we see a crowdfund, we always see them kind of boost up at the end because people don't want to miss out.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just one of those things.
So if they do another HasLab next year, So they did a Cobra, they did a Joe, they did a Cobra. They did a ground vehicle, they did an air vehicle, they did an air vehicle. So it says to me that the next one, you know, if they're going to kind of follow that pattern, they now need to do a Joe ground vehicle.
I agree.
What do you reckon they might go with?
Mauler.
Yep. That was what I'm thinking. A Mauler.
Yeah. Unless they get crazy and they decide, well, now we're going to go into the water.
Yeah, but dude, like a whale, that's going to be a $600 HasLab, and that is a coffee table. Like
that's going to push some serious boundaries, big time.
What else could they do for Joe that's water that would warrant a HasLab? Like a devilfish could be sold $100 like a vamp. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do the devilfish like the vamp. You could HasLab a hydrofoil. I think you could do that. But a whale is, that's kind of pushing it.
Yeah, but I mean, and some people in the chat are saying the hydrofoil, but I don't think that if they were to do that, that's going to be 3 Cobra HasLabs and still only 1 Joe HasLab. That's why I'm saying it's most likely going to be a Joe one, and it's going to be ground or water. I'm thinking a Mauler.
I'm thinking a Mauler as well.
Yeah.
Mauler.
JC Fett says, what about the Havoc? I mean, that's an option, but I don't think it's as an appealing option as a Mauler. Like, I think a Mauler would be pretty cool.
When you look at the grand scheme of Joe collectors, less people have a problem with the Mauler than they do with the Havoc. A lot of people, even though I love the Havoc, a lot of people thumb their nose at it.
Yeah. I had the Havoc in childhood. Like, I got that in 87, I think, or early 88. Mm-hmm. I was like 10 or 11 years. I was about 11 years old at the time. I think I was 11 years old when I got the Havoc. It might have even been my 11th birthday. And as an 11-year-old kid, I'm like, why does the driver sit in a chair on the top completely unprotected in this armored vehicle?
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. But what I liked about that, excuse me, is that it was 2 vehicles in one. I loved that whole concept of opening up the back for the recon sled. But I don't think it would be the same kind of slam dunk for Joe that this is. When I talk about slam dunk, like, this funded in 24 hours. Star Wars and Marvel can't do that with their HasLabs.
No.
This is proof that Joe is becoming their biggest boys brand. I mean, and Bobby talks about when he was working at Hasbro and he was trying to get the 6-inch line off the ground. The reason they didn't go with it is because there was no entertainment behind it. There was no media behind it.
And now Emily turns around and says she likes the fact that Joe doesn't have dedicated media because people can take their Joe stuff and play with it with their Legends or whatever. And that's totally fine. But it reinforces my argument that, like, it's all Legends people, trying to drive all this. A lot of people are talking about the Snowcat. So they're already talking about doing the Snowcat, but the Snowcat's going to be like the Vamp and the Stinger, but it's going to be a higher price point. Fan channel.
Yeah, if they can do the Vamp for 100, they can do the Snowcat for 150. The
Snowcat and the Thunder Machine are on their list. I guarantee it. And Suka will back me up on that. But he and I know some stuff. So
I don't. Yeah, I think if they did the Snowcat as a HasLab, man, it's got to be priced like 200, which. At 200, it shouldn't be a HasLab. The Giant Man shouldn't have been a HasLab. It should have just been
agreed
a higher price point offering at retail.
Yeah, same thing with the Rancor. Like, you didn't need to HasLab the Rancor. Your tiers were junk. It was a low rent effort, and you saw what it got you. You should have just put it in one of those Black Series boxes, stuck it on a shelf. You would have sold a few.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that Joe is back to a healthy enough point where I don't want to show cards, but they can do with Joe what they're doing with Star Wars, because Star Wars is on the decline. We've seen that through their HasLabs, through the toys that sit on shelves, all the Disney Plus streaming stuff that gets terrible ratings. Star Wars it's dying that slow, painful death, and Joe is coming back. I think that Joe needs 3 3/4 O-ring, go back to the 4-inch modern, construction, and just like Star Wars has retro, vintage collection, and Black Series, Joe can do it.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear anybody talk about Haya, because that's not a thing.
No. Look, I think in today's current pop culture landscape, the G.I. Joe brand is actually benefiting from not having entertainment attached, because it is the decline in the quality of that entertainment, which is why Legends is in decline. It's why Star Wars is in decline, and it's why this is becoming their biggest male collectible action figure brand. If they come out with another Joe movie and they fuck it up again, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with this Transformers crossover.
Yeah, because now they're hitching just a couple of Joes to the Transformers, and but you got the guy who wrote Jurassic World writing it. I don't necessarily have any problem with that. I thought Jurassic World was a good love letter to Jurassic Park. My beef is Lorenzo Di Bonaventura, and he's always been the problem. And until they do something about Di Bonaventura, which I straight asked Daryl DePriest on a live stream that anybody can go back and rewatch, like, what is the deal with Di Bonaventura? He's like, well, he's really powerful in Hollywood. And I'm like, but he sucks. He sucks. For those IPs, he just damages them. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think that trying to put out too much media to prop up a streaming service is really what hurts the IPs. And I think that if you were going to do something with Joe, it would have to be done with care.
Yep.
It would have to be like The Unit, or go back and revisit the end of Resolute, something like that. But you can't do 26 streaming shows, like you can't have Crystal Ball having his own TV show or something like that. That would really bad.
No. Robert Diaz, thank you for the super chat. He says, how about the septic tank from the Eco Warriors line? They can't do the Mauler. They can't do the Mauler since Ace beat them to market with tanks. Hey, look, they will probably do the Mauler just because Ace is doing it.
Well, yeah, look at how they reacted to, Valaverse and Action Force over and over and over again. Extra hands, removable magazines, on and on. They would definitely do that because of Ace. And the septic tank, by the way, it's the only time that the Hiss is ever referred to as a tank. If they do the septic tank, then you got to go down the route of, are we going to do Eco Warriors now? Maybe. I don't know.
They do like their repaints.
Yeah, I see the Mauler, especially when you look at ground vehicle ratios. So you have the Ram, you have the Ferret, you have the Stinger, the Vamp, you have the Hiss. So do a Mauler.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. Or just do a straight M1A1 Abrams, call it a Mobat, whatever.
Yeah.
Even though the Mobat's based on the M70 main battle tank, you could still update it. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
Be all right.
Well, look, dude, we literally made this a 2-hour Dude Bro chat on the button.
We did.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join me.
You're welcome. I'm so busy.
Hey, man, before we wrap things up, please, anything you want to plug, anything you want to tell the audience, what's going on, what you got coming up, where can they find you?
No, not really. I'm I'm still working on what I'm going to do for my stream on Wednesday. I had reached out to Michael from Toy Habits to see if he wanted to come on and just talk San Diego Comic-Con as an event, as a culture. I don't necessarily need to talk all the dollies and all that stuff because everybody's doing that to death.
Yeah.
I do have that new video coming out Monday, but we already discussed that. And yeah, if you don't know where to find me, it's Chad. It's real simple. That's it. That's all I got. And never go full classified.
What's that? Never go full classified.
Never. Yeah.
Curse of Fenrir, thank you very much for the super chat. It says version 5 Hiss is a tank. Did they call it a tank? I don't even know what version 5 looks like. My knowledge of a real American hero is literally from 82 to 88, 89. I'm not even that familiar with the 90s stuff and anything that came beyond that. So, yeah. All right. Well, chat, thank you all for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Chad. And we'll see you next time. You want to sign us out?
It's not a tank. He's talking about the Crimson one, the modern one. That's not called a tank. It just says High Speed Sentry version 5. Yeah, we're talking about this guy right here. Hold on. I know we're going to sign up, but yeah, the one that they have from like Retaliation and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Not a tank. The only tanks that Cobra has, and I'm not trying to, split hairs or anything. The only tanks they have are the Charred, the Cat, the Crimson Attack tank. Those are tanks.
Yeah.
A Hiss is not a tank. It's a high-speed sentry. It's basically the Mars Industry version of the M2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicle. Not a tank. Yep. Does not have a main gun with a bore evacuator. Not a tank. That's another video, Tony, that I've been working on for a while.
And look, just because it's got tracks doesn't make it a tank. If it did, the Snowcat would be a tank, or it's a half track, whatever.
Yeah, a BMP would be a tank. That's not a tank. So
yeah.
Anyway, I had a great time hanging out with you.
Likewise, man. Likewise, it was good to catch up. Thanks for joining me. And yeah, hopefully Ryan completes all his press duties, and we have a stream in the week that we can catch up with him and see what else is going on in the world of San Diego Comic-Con.
Totally great.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here, and me and Chad, we will see you next time.
And have an awesome day.